It started with a town meeting, the kind of meeting that only happens when something is very, very wrong. The kind where the air feels heavy and the silence is louder than any scream. I remember sitting in the old community hall, the wooden benches creaking under the weight of uneasy bodies. Everyone was there. Everyone. And no one wanted to speak first.
We all know why we're here. Something's not right. Something's been off.
That was the first voice to break the silence. A man in his late 40s, his face pale, his hands trembling as he gripped the edge of the podium. He didn't need to say more. We all felt it. The town had changed. The streets felt colder, the shadows longer. Even the trees seemed to lean in closer, as if listening.
It's the woods. It's always been the woods. They've been different lately, like they're watching us.
A woman spoke up, her voice shaky but firm. She was right. The woods had always been there, a constant presence at the edge of town. But now, they felt alive. Not in the way nature is alive, but in a way that made your skin crawl. Like something was moving in there, something that didn't belong.
I saw something last night, out by the old mill. It wasn't human.
The room went dead silent. All eyes turned to the man who had spoken. He was younger, maybe in his 30s, but his face looked aged, haunted. He stared at the floor, his voice barely above a whisper.
It was tall, too tall. And it didn't walk right. Its legs, they bent the wrong way, and its eyes, they glowed like fire.
A chill ran through the room. No one wanted to believe him. But deep down, we all knew he wasn't lying. The woods had always been a place of stories, of legends. But this was different. This was real.
We need to do something. We can't just sit here and wait for it to come for us.
The woman's voice was desperate now, her hands clenched into fists. She was right. We couldn't just wait. But what could we do? How do you fight something you don't understand?
We need to go into the woods. We need to see what's out there.
The room erupted into murmurs. Some agreed, others shook their heads in fear. But in the end it was decided. A group of us would go into the woods, to see, to understand, to face whatever was out there. The next night we gathered at the edge of the woods. The air was thick, the moon hidden behind dark clouds. The trees loomed ahead, their branches twisted and gnarled like claws. We had flashlights, but the beams seemed weak, swallowed by the darkness. We stepped into the woods. The crunch of leaves under our feet, the only sound.
Stay close. Don't wander off.
The younger man's voice was tense, his eyes darting around as we moved deeper into the woods. The further we went, the heavier the air felt. It was hard to breathe, like the woods themselves were pressing down on us.
Do you hear that?
The woman stopped suddenly, her head tilted as she listened. At first, I heard nothing. Then, faintly, a sound. A low, guttural growl, coming from somewhere ahead. My heart pounded in my chest as we moved toward it, the sound growing louder with each step.
There's something up ahead. Stay behind me.
The older man took the lead, his flashlight shaking in his hand. The growl was deafening now, echoing through the trees, and then we saw it. A clearing, and in the center of the clearing, a figure. Tall, too tall, its limbs twisted and bent at unnatural angles. Its eyes glowed like embers, burning into us.
What is this?
The younger man's voice was barely a whisper, his face pale with terror. The creature turned its head slowly, its glowing eyes locking onto us, and then it moved, faster than anything I've ever seen. It lunged toward us, its mouth opening wide, revealing rows of jagged teeth.
Run.
We didn't need to be told twice. We turned and ran, the creature's growls echoing behind us. The woods seemed to close in around us, the trees twisting and turning, blocking our path. I could hear the others shouting, their voices filled with panic. But I couldn't stop. I couldn't look back. I don't know how long we ran. It felt like hours, but it could have been minutes. Finally, we burst out of the woods, collapsing onto the ground, gasping for air. The creature was gone. Or at least, it didn't follow us out. But we all knew it was still there, waiting.
We need to leave. All of us. We can't stay here.
The older man's voice was firm, but there was a tremor of fear in it. He was right. We couldn't stay, not with that thing in the woods. But as we sat there catching our breath, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was already too late. The woods had changed, and so had we. The next day, the town was empty, houses abandoned, streets silent. Everyone had left. Everyone but me. I couldn't leave. Not yet. I needed to understand. I needed to know what that thing was. So, I went back to the woods, alone. The trees seemed to welcome me, their branches reaching out like old friends. The air was still heavy, but it felt different now, familiar. I walked deeper into the woods, the growl growing louder with each step, and then I saw it. The clearing, the creature. It was waiting for me. Its glowing eyes locked onto mine, and for the first time, I wasn't afraid. I stepped closer, my heart pounding in my chest. The creature tilted its head, its jagged mouth curling into something that almost looked like a smile. And then, it spoke. Its voice was deep, guttural, but there was something familiar about it, something that made my blood run cold. I took another step forward, and the creature reached out, its twisted hand brushing against my face, and in that moment, I understood. The woods hadn't changed. I had. I don't know how long I'd been here, days, weeks. Time doesn't matter anymore. The woods are my home now, and the creature, it's a part of me. I can feel it in my bones, in my blood. It's always been here, waiting, watching. And now, it's finally found me. The town is gone, the people are gone, but I'm still here, and I'll never leave, because this is where I belong, in the woods, with the creature, in the familiar place.